Hi everyone. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
It is the end of the month, and we are four coaches here to help you transform your Sunday. Four amazing coaches who can help you in any way you want. And I'm gonna start with Jennifer to present herself.
Thank you, Juliet. Hi, I'm Jennifer, owner of Oxygen, a mind and body transformation company where I help people get physically and mentally stronger to create the life that they love to live with one habit at a time in under 5 minutes. So it's really easy to make change. Iris.
Thank you, Jennifer. So my name is Ira Santos, and I am the owner of I Santos Coaching, and I work with adult women, 45 to 55, that are struggling in toxic relationship or difficult relationship, especially within self and other, to end with the trauma that arises from those type of relationships, so you can find inner peace and self-love and clarity. Maggie.
Thank you so much. I am Maggie Temez. I am the founder of Running Fox Living Food. It is a coaching program dedicated to helping diabetics who are struggling with adapting to healthier lifestyles to find more time, more control, and confidence in their meal planning choices without being stuck in bland or boring diets. And Juliet, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, well, I'm going to present myself first, but my name is Juliet. I'm a confidence coach. I'm an artist, and I'm here to help you overcome all your self-doubt. And like Jennifer, it's going to take you less than 5 minutes a day. So no more imposter syndrome, no, more confidence in every area of your life. And you're going to be so much happier after that. The topic today is how your environment affect your confidence. And when I say environment, it's a really broad subject. So I didn't choose like a specific one. But if Maggie, let's go.
I am so ready to dive into this topic because I do think that environment can be anything from like your town community that you're living in to like your family that you may not even be around all the time anymore. Um, but I kind of want to start with talking about like the community, the town and how that can affect things because a lot of times our geographical locations can feel like limiting factors in what we have the opportunity to do. Um, I live in Oklahoma, which is a very rural state. It is a lot of farmland. There's not a lot of industry or like big business. And so when I was growing up, I always felt like a lot of those things were beyond my capabilities, my ability to get to just because of where I lived. And it wasn't until after my midlife crisis that like I really started to open myself up to a lot of those opportunities and grow beyond my geography. And it has been life-changing for me to open myself up to that. Um, I want to come back around and talk about like how we can do some of that, but I'll throw it over to Jen.
I love this topic. As a mind and body coach, the impact that I've studied on the environment. And whereas Maggie is talking geographical, I wanted to touch home on our actual home environment. Studies have shown that kids in dorm rooms where they're crowded and cluttered has an effect on their learning. So a clean space also then keeps a clean environment, cleanliness of the mind and body. So my thing was years ago when we were first married, we would go to all these different islands and the same thing is like this island feel. And it dawns on me from learning all this, like, why not create a paradise right in my own house, in my own yard, in my own space? So I make sure that every room and every area that I am in, because I know the impact of the environment on how we feel, on our confidence, on our happiness, I make sure that that environment is always clean. Every year we picked a project and we transformed our home into a place that felt good for us. Because when you come home from work, it has to be a safe haven. It has to be a beautiful experience where wherever you are in your day, in your life. When I used to work in an office, there was always plants in my office. There was pictures of people that I love. It is creating this space that is uplifting, that is energetic, that rises our energy and keeps us feeling good. And when we're feeling good, we have more confidence. And when we have more confidence, we make better decisions. So I love this topic, Iris.
This is amazing. And you just reminded me this morning, I was like, I need to clean my office. I need to have clarity. I need to be able to think and be clear in what I'm going to do today, especially when we are in Transform Our Sunday. How can I transform anything if my environment is not transformed? But I want to take it a little bit further because the topic is how the environment impacts our emotional state. And it goes back to our previous topic, not last week, but the topic about highest consciousness. How individually we had individual values, but those individual values are impacted by the consciousness value, by the whole value, and how the environment, I'm not going to say make us, because at the end it's our decision, but how we end up making decisions that doesn't align with those individual values because the environment as a whole impacts us to the point that we forget who we are. We forget our true identity to, I'm going to say, succumb with the environment because it's not who we are. If it's something that doesn't align with our true self, our true identity. So our emotional state will get impacted in ways that we may not even understand. When we go away from our individual value to align with a society that may or may not align with who we are. Yes, Maggie. I can talk the whole day.
I love that. I love this. I love the energy that you guys bring. And like it really does make such a huge impact on our choices because our emotions, our confidence really does have a lot to do with what kind of a space that we are in. And if we are constantly distracted by the things around us, it can keep us from being able to clearly see like what is the next step, where we're going, what options are available. And I feel like that is something that can be a real struggle, especially if you don't feel like you have the ability to make changes on some of the things that are distracting or causing you issues if they are not necessarily inside of your home. And like I I know for myself when I was going through that and I was looking at all of the things that were in my community when I was driving through and all of that, like making the decision to change how I saw things. Like I couldn't physically make changes, but how I interpreted them, how I saw them, and how they would affect me, that I had control over. And so being very conscious about that really was a benefit to myself in I do not have to allow the clutter, the decay that is in my physical sight on a daily basis to have the same meaning. It's history. It is something that I can learn from, not something that I'm trapped in. Go ahead, Juliet.
Thank you. It was really nice sharing. I really loved it. And what I want to talk about is also people around you. There's a sentence that I've learned not so long ago, and I really, really believe it, like to my core, is you become who you surrounding yourself with. And so what one thing when I started my journey was really to declutter my friends.
Mhm.
And because we don't realize when we lack confidence, we surround ourselves with people who are toxic. Not to I don't want to talk about toxic people, but they are toxic to us. And I think when you start to say, no, is this situation is okay for me? Ask yourself every time you feel like you kind of feel you don't really know what is it. You can't put any names, but you can feel something wrong. Just ask yourself, is this situation with this person, is
Mhm.
it what make me feel uncomfortable? Is it something wrong here? And it's okay, whatever your age, it's okay to let go of people who you don't feel comfortable, who don't support you. And I did realize when I started my journey, one of the things I know people kind of like, what? But um my the person I was dating kept saying to me like I was so beautiful. Oh, you're so beautiful and you're so beautiful. And at first I was like, no, absolutely not. But the thing is, he was supporting me and he was repeating it like so much that at some point I was like, oh my gosh, this is so nice to have someone who just don't say it once because he want to sleep with you, but just say it like repeat it. Like every time he see you, you can see in his eyes like, oh my gosh, you're not so bad. Um, and you really don't always realize how much people around you are really important for your confidence, for yourself, for your well-being, for your mental health. Like you need support. You know, people who are gonna support you whatever your choice. I've been changing choices like all my life. My parents have been supporting me like all the time, even when they didn't agree. But they were here and they were supportive. And now I'm surrounding with people who support me whatever I do, and they always all in, and they always like give me ideas. And really, if they don't have any ideas, they're just going to be like, we are here, we support you like 100%. And it feels so good. So I think it's really important to, because you can choose who you want to spend your time with. And this is, I think, really important point to do it. I don't, with maybe
Iris,
Jennifer,
and then
Iris, and then Jennifer.
Thank you. This is like this topic is has so many different layers and
Mhm.
different points of view and different and I keep struggling because so many ideas showing up in my head. And it goes back in alignment with everyone share here how the environment impacts our emotional state. And it reminded me while you were speaking, Juliet, of this man that came on this earth one day that he said that his kingdom was not from this kingdom because the environment outside was not in alignment with who this person was. And I'm not saying name just because I don't want to make it something out of the topic because it's about emotional state. And it goes back to I keep hitting the our individual values. I keep hitting our higher consciousness as individual and how that can be impacted by your environment. So it goes back by are your choices in alignment with who you believe you are? Because if we value peace and we value love and we value unity, are those choices that we are making also inviting unity and love and peace? And if it's not, then what is it that is holding us back from being authentic as we
Yeah.
claim or we believe we are? Because if you are not in alignment with you, your emotional state will show it to you.
Mhm.
I don't know who was first, Jennifer
But
or Maggie.
Jennifer and Maggie.
I do love this. And Juliet, I definitely agree. I've heard that saying before too, who you surround, the 5 people you surround yourself with is who you are going to become. And it is true. You do have to do like this almost audit of your friends because there is this moment where you're around people and what you're doing is either scaring them or it's in their eyes, it's too much. And if they're viewing it as too much, that's going to stunt your growth. You need to be surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you're doing or more than what you're doing because you want to continue to grow. And I've learned that over the years. And I used to stop sharing what I was doing because the people in my life was too much for them. But what I've learned is yes, it's too much for them, but it's not too much for me. And going back to Iris's thing, it's honoring who we are and how we're showing up for the world. And our body will tell us when we're out of alignment. We get these twins or these aha moments. It's about listening to our body and honoring and finding that environment. We all offer supportive communities here. Pick the community that you need. There's confidence, there's love coaching, there's diabetic and food coaching, there's mind and body coaching. Pick where you need to be and find us and get in our community so you can get that love, that support that you need and become the person you actually want to be. And that's what I share. Maggie.
I love that because, I had a very similar thought, and it really is, we do love having these opportunities to communicate. I absolutely look forward to thrive on these conversations that we have on Sunday. And I'm very excited because all of us are actually going to be putting together a summit with more coaches who share a lot of the same values, that same drive. And it's going to be coming up in March, but we've already started like talking about things that we want to share. And when you are looking at wanting to expand, I really encourage you guys to participate in things like Women's Summit empowerment groups. You are welcome to come and join us in March for Women's Journey to Wholeness Summit, which we are all going to be a part of. And find people in that group, connect with people through the chat, be active, participate in events like that so that you can find other people who can fill that circle around you and give you the support that you need to grow and advance. I just wanted to throw that out there. Go ahead, Iris.
Thank you, Maggie. And I cannot wait for Women to Wholeness Summit. Like, I cannot wait. One thing that came up as I was listening is also understand that not everyone will share your same view. And that is okay.
Yeah.
As long as you, the individual, is in alignment with who you are, in alignment with the choices you make as a collective. Meaning that, as Jennifer and Juliet stated, who you surround yourself with, you will become. My grandmother used to say, if you walk with dogs, poor dogs, it has nothing to do with the dogs, you will either bark or get fleas or both, right? So know yourself. Be clear on who you are or who you are becoming. Respect your value. Knowing value but not respecting your value, those values are not yours. When you are not in alignment with your value, you don't have anything because your values will define you. Your choices will be defined by those values. And you have the right to make a choice and you have the right to grow. This is why we are here. However, just because the people that you surround yourself with don't align with every value that you have, doesn't mean that they are not the right people. It just means some things you are not agree. As long as you respect each other and you value each other, that alone will make it make you go through life, because we are all here, four coaches, four different minds, but all have one goal, which is to transform your Sunday, to transform your life. Jennifer. Oh, Juliet.
No, it was like a lot of good sharings. I don't know if anyone wants to add up anything right now because we're gonna wrap up for this last Sunday of the month. And I think this topic is really huge and it's really important and it's really hard to do because making a, like Jennifer, you said, making an audit of your friends, sometimes it's your childhood's friends. It's not easy, but it's really necessary. It's really, really necessary. It
So,
can really put you down. Yeah, Maggie.
so I don't want to go into this, but I do want to say that I would love to come back later and go through this topic again and like have areas to focus on instead of like the broad, because I would love to be able to dive in a little bit more into physical environments as opposed to, I'm gonna say people are emotional environments. That's my point of
Yeah.
view.
Yeah, I mean,
So
like what you said, like your environment, like the city where you live is also really influential.
yeah.
And it's a long topic, and we only have 20 minutes.
It's
But
huge.
we're gonna come back to that. If you have any question, anything you want us to talk about, any comment, just please let us know. You're gonna have all of our Facebook, Instagram in the description if you want to reach out to any of us. If you need help, reach out. If you know someone who needs help, give them like one of our website or just the video itself with all the descriptions. They can choose whoever they want help from. And don't forget, we are four coaches here to transform your Sunday, transform your lives. We're gonna be here every week for a while. So ask any question. Don't be shy. We're gonna do our best to answer in the best of our abilities. And I'm gonna see you next week. Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.